Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the premiere first episode of Paranormal Files Into the Darkness. We've done a number under a special paranormal edition of From Behind Tall Trees, but this is the first under the new name and the new channel. Also going to multiple places live. So hello, everyone watching on Facebook, YouTube as well. Thank you. Time to introduce my great host for today. It happens to be the great Big Chuck Larson. How are you doing?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
How about yourself, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's good to be on the show. Thank you for having me on here, and I'll try to do my best impersonation of Gwen. How's that?
You have some tough shoes, or big shoes to fill, so to speak.
I know. She's very talented.
She's really good. She's a really good co-host.
So what we got going on?
Well, first of all, I like to do a tip of the night. Usually we go to Gwen, but I'm going to do it myself this time. And it's in general, just don't whisper while doing EVPs. A lot of the EVPs we come in that whispery low level. And if someone around you does do it, take and tag them. Take and say tag or mark that was one of us, so you can tell them when you're going over your evidence later that it was indeed one of you guys. So you don't take and mistake something for paranormal when it's not paranormal. Tonight we unfortunately had a cancellation. So it happens in this industry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
A couple times last year too, so that's too bad.
Yeah. The plan was to have the great Katie Burr from Ghost Lab and also World's Biggest Ghost Hunt Penhurst. And we were going to see what she's been up to on her own, as well as teaming back up with the Kling brothers from Everyday Paranormal. And she's reunited with them, obviously, at Everyday Paranormal. And they're doing a new podcast. But we're going to talk more about that. But we'll talk about that, hopefully, down the road. But tonight, you guys are in for a special treat. I've been doing paranormal investigating for about 15 years, maybe 16, 17, something like that. And I've never really put out much of what I've gotten. Hey, Marla. I've never put out much of what I've gotten. So with this cancellation, at the last second, I said to Brendan, maybe we could do this. And he agreed. So we're going to play the four biggest paranormal or close to paranormal type videos I've been a part of, a group that they've gotten it when I've been there. And along the way, I might tell a story or two. I don't know if you guys want to hear that or not. So maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Sure, let's do it.
It's what?
I said, sure, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Why don't we begin? Go ahead, Brendan. Play number 4. Now, the source of the video, we'll call him D. He has done a lot of the voiceover work as far as explaining things, not so much, obviously not true voiceover, but explaining what is going on as you're watching, and the further explanation as we go along. And that's what the wording was in that regard. Some are wording, some are voice explaining. That was done at a bed and breakfast and location outside of Gettysburg. One second here. I got to do something. Yes. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake in that regards. But anyway, that was done. Like I said, I'm gonna do better next time. My apologies, everyone. But that was done at a bed and breakfast, which is known as a Gettysburg Battlefield Hospital location, outside of Gettysburg. And being with that, can you replay it again, Brendan? I'm sorry. It's still a good video. And during a paranormal investigation, we had members of the public joined us. They booked rooms at the bed and breakfast, and we came along. We did an investigation there.
Creepy.
It is. It's cool. That's how I look at it. If we want to mention a little story, there's a farm outside of Gettysburg. We went there, and I did an impression. I do. It's similar to what the Kling brothers do with their Aerocute, but I just recreate. And I did my general impression. I'm not going to do it right here, but I go crazy as the Confederate general, and we were going to keep the Union at bay as they were approaching for July 4th. And I got a series of the end of the day battles. And also another story there. Okay. And the other story is they had blood on the floor inside the house. They have regular hardwood floors. And what happened is everyone there was accounted for and fine. And it turned out when they tested it, it actually was human blood, which is interesting. Now we go on to number 3. Number 3 is was done at a residence in northern Maryland. I believe that place actually caught fire. There's some kind of story of witchery and also dolls with their heads cut off buried in the ground. Interesting. But that's just side effects for that. And we're going to see some flashlight activity at this location. You're also going to see words pop up from a word app, which is a little bit different. Go ahead, Brendan. Why don't you play number 3 a while?
Nope.
Maybe
have you ever been to that place, Sean? Have you investigated that place as well? Or?
Yes. That house is actually going to be 2 of the top 4, actually, amazingly. There's the number 1 video also comes from that house, interestingly enough.
Oh, wow.
I guess I should explain it then more.
Yeah, explain the house. And
it's a residential house.
Okay, you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Can you please
hear my voice off?
So we can tell that we might be communicating with something.
That startled me because I didn't even realize it was going on for a second. Flashlight's on.
We were talking about one-way glass. Maybe it likes one-way glass.
Yeah, that's what we were.
Maybe
Off and on here, we're going to see the flashlight all of a sudden kick on command.
Can you turn the flashlight back on, please?
I know you can do it now. Of course, I did ask him to turn it on one time before I leave.
Can you turn it on another time before he leaves?
Thank you for turning it on.
Just try it a little bit. Can you try him a little more harder?
Oh, come on.
Come on, do it again.
Come on.
You had it.
You always do a lot of come on, let's go when you do this.
Wow.
Or you can do better, come on.
Thank you. Can you turn it on again? Just one more time, and I won't ask no more.
Oh.
Can you turn it off, please? A little more off, please.
I can make it real bright.
There are these we keep asking it to go different directions.
Wow.
Now we proceeded to get some
That was me.
off and on light activity.
Thank you.
Wow. That's great.
Okay, now can you turn it off?
There you go.
He's making it brighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you turn it off on a count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Now you ask.
Always a
Sean.
little hit and miss. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. Now with that delay, do you
Now
think
we
there
know
was
you're
a-
here.
it's still kind of interesting how it did work its way
Leaving it
down
on, yes.
again.
Leaving it off means no.
But it'll go
Wow,
back
you
and forth. Then the
understand
word
that.
app will start kicking in too.
Oh, really?
If you do, please turn it on and then turn it off and fairly quickly.
Man, that's
You
creepy.
turn it back off.
It's tough too because you also got to be tough on this type of stuff a little bit as well, because you're making the flashlight so loose that it is easy
Appreciate your efforts.
to take and just barely manipulate, and like it will turn on.
We are asking a lot.
That's
Thank you.
That's.
If you were a
Now,
But it still was
is
going on and off on
guy,
demand pretty
turn
good,
on
actually.
again, please.
now is this like a friendly entity, or is this like, or you consider this friendly, or is this just you wouldn't know
Are
because
you
of this?
a female?
Hey, Tommy, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Hey, Tommy, I said, would you consider that a friendly entity, or is it because with him playing, he's kind of playing with you, right? Turning on and off the lights, I guess.
Male?
Yeah, I would say
If you are, please turn
it would have been friendly. Definitely not overly malicious or anything.
Okay. Can you turn it off?
Even though, is there any chance they could turn if you keep on asking them questions? If you keep on telling, if you keep on asking them to turn on and off the flashlight, any chance they'll turn on you and get mean?
Thank God that doesn't usually happen.
Good.
Actually, no, we haven't really. I've never
So,
actually
are
used
you
baby
a female?
powder. Whether even on cars, stories go pushing it on cars, and like kids especially, like pushing a car up a hill.
Okay, so I can
I've never used it
assume you
all,
are
at all, either paranormal or that.
The EMF meter just went off a little bit.
I never even thought of
Too,
baby powder for
I
this.
think we
Actually.
took over his
That's my
phone.
Okay.
Wow.
Are you?
They said this house had a lot of witchcraft going on, or witchery. You
Are
said
you
going on in
older
this
than
place?
18?
I believe there was
If you
some,
are, please
as I
live
recall
the
the
life.
story. This investigation is
Under 18.
approximately
Okay. Thank
12
you.
years old or so.
What'd you ask?
Oh
Are
wow.
you over 18?
Okay.
So you are over 18. Can you turn the light off, please?
And also, one thing I did not mention, I am also co-founder, as well as my other titles, of the Mason-Dixon Paranormal Society, which is where this film is emanating from.
Wow. Okay.
Can you turn it off, please?
You started that group, right?
No, technically I rose through the ranks.
Oh, you
Technically
rose your
started
rank?
by Daryl Keller and Stuart
You do it.
Cornelius.
Just twist it a little more.
Stronger?
Wow. That's out. That's a.
Interesting
Oop,
work considering
back.
the questions we're asking.
I think now,
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
the word
I
app's going to
think I
start
can
kicking
touch
out
one of
words.
them.
Are you stronger?
Amazingly, don't get me wrong, those word apps are mostly for entertainment purposes. But on this time, we got a possible first and last name. The first name was
Older
slightly
than
misspelled,
30.
ending in Y
If
versus
you are,
IE,
please live the
Eddie,
life.
for example. But other than that, the next words that came out, I couldn't quite verify. But I did verify a guy from that
So
town
I
with
can
that
safely
name
assume you are between 18
had died
and
in
30
recent
years old.
times.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
That probably qualifies as a yes.
Did you go to the town hall, get the public records, and or
So
you
you're
look
between
through the
18 and 30,
newspapers, or
correct? Thank you.
I found it online
That
somehow.
was a strong answer.
wow.
That was a good answer, considering
That's
I
Can
did
you,
say stronger.
can you turn it off, please, again?
Mostly Mitchell and
Can you
Chuck
please turn it
and
off?
Chuck are talking, by the way. I'm there too. I think I'm running
It's around
camera.
25 or so.
Let's see if I can touch one of them.
All right.
Can you please turn it off?
What was that?
8.
8.
Did you eat something?
Like,
You gotta turn the light off first.
was it like he ate something or like the number 8?
No, it's 8
Oh,
Okay.
please turn it off.
Thank you.
wow.
Go ahead and ask.
Eddie.
Eddie. Is Eddie your name?
Now we're at the beginning of it.
Eddie, not any.
No,
Correct?
EDD.
Oh okay. Well, that was pretty impressive, man. That's I give you a lot of credit, man. I don't know if I'd be doing that.
Actually, it was nothing. It's a case of where it usually nothing happens and you get used to that, but you also makes you more. You don't realize something's happening a lot of times until after it's already started to occur.
Wow.
Like that when that name occurs, for example, you really don't know that you could later find information on a person with that name later.
But
At the time, it's just a name because you don't know that. I didn't know that something was starting in that regards, or could have been starting at that regards anyway.
wow, yeah, that was a. Now, who the guys with you then? You said it was a guy named Mitchell and another guy.
Yeah, Mitchell was the tech manager. What are the activity claims for the location? Uh, that one.
You said it burned down. You said it was witchcraft.
Yeah, they had a fire, but I'm not really sure exactly what the claims were. Some kind of witchcraft.
You think there's any sacrifices there? You said the dolls with the heads cut off and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the connection is there, and they were buried too, apparently.
That's just creepy.
And that was done by prior residents to who were there when we went there. Not sure exactly what the meaning on that was, or why, or if there was a meaning to, or why, what connection that could have had to hauntings there. I don't know. But you're right. You are pushing some dark energy type stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the claims were. I'm sorry. That dates back a ways for me to remember that. My apologies on that one. All right. I guess we go now to number 2. Number 2 is it's a thermal set in Lancaster County, I believe Elizabethtown, and it's actually it's a residential as well. And eventually, on that video, well, I guess that's pretty much enough. Go ahead and play number 2. All right,
Welcome to Mason-Dixon
screen
Paranormal
to the
Society.
thermal.
To give you a little bit of background
She
on the
is
footage
talking.
that you're about to see, this is from our thermal imaging camera that we were called on investigation in Pennsylvania. The case number is 11-0122-R. To give you a little bit of a background on this investigation, it involves a woman and her son live in this house. Part of the things that are going on in this house, they both see shadows, they hear noises in the house. There's some activity as far as the one claims that they were scratched at one time. And most of the activity goes on in the bedroom and out in the living room. Now, the thermal imaging here is a camera that we use, and all it does is distinguish temperature. That's all the thermal does. To the left of the circle on the thermal footage that you were looking at, the white spot there, as you can see over according to the temperature gauge on the right side, where it shows very white, which is showing up to 70 degrees. That is a bird. It's inside a bird cage, which is inside their house, and it's in the kitchen, located in the kitchen. As we start this footage, there's two different things that we captured on this. At the time that this was taken, there was only 2 investigators from MDPS in the residence. They were the only ones that were in there, besides the bird, of course. Okay, we're going to start this video here, and you're going to see this pans around a little bit to the left here once we get started. Okay, that's the bird there in the bird cage. Okay, as we come around, did you see that? We're going to pause that for you. Watch, we're going to back this up. There's two items right there. The one that the bullseye is on is a light switch, and there's a light switch adjacent to the left of it. When we back this up, watching that light switch again, you're going to see a thermal hit on that of something that was rather warm, and it moves across that light switch rather quickly. We're going to play it at regular speed. There, did you see that? All right, we're going to back that up again. Now we're going to play it at slow speed. We back that up, and then now when we get there, what we're going to do is we're going to try and pause it on there
It's not
for you.
really
Right there.
normal for a light
As you
switch
can
like
see,
that.
this thermal, you
There's
got
no one
something
there.
hot on the left side and something that appears to be laying down. Now, as you can tell, the angle of this, we checked, and it's reflecting off of that light switch going back into the living room area where there's nobody at. At first, we thought it might have been a reflection of our investigator, but then as we determined the angle when he brought the camera around towards that switch, the angles doesn't match up. He was off to the side of it, which would not reflect back onto him. So now we're
And
going
that's
to
one
play
of
it
the
at
dangers
normal
of using a
speed.
thermal of
Now
any
that you
kind.
see
For
that
reflection.
there,
Yeah.
he notices that. That's why I kept it on there for a little bit. Now he's going to pan around, back
Oh, you
around,
have to be really careful.
and here, that's the back door of the kitchen. Okay. He's going to pan on around the kitchen and come out towards the dining room, towards the front door. And we'll play this right there.
Ooh.
If you see directly below the circle, down there at the time where it says 2:19 and 37 seconds, right there at the 37 seconds, there appears to be an image there.
Yeah, I
If you
can see
look
that.
to the right, you'll see the doorway there with the long rectangular glass in the door. If you look to the left of the object or behind the object there, that is a picture. And then you have a little open space going further to the left, which you have another picture. And if you look right under the date, where under the 22nd, you will see the lampshade there. So the lamp is approximately 5 foot high. We figured this object to be somewhere right around 5'3" from the dimensions. Now, at this time, we also had a DVR camera set up in this room, which is off to the left, shooting across the room, and the DVR did not pick nothing up. The DVR also shows there was nothing else in that room. So now what we're going to do is we're going to back this up here. And before we back this up, one thing I want to make note, the operator of the thermal, we were getting ready to switch teams, and he was looking down at the controls of the thermal trying to shut this off. If he'd have shut this off approximately 2 seconds earlier, we would have never caught this.
That's an amazing
Okay,
little
let's go
stat
ahead
right
and back
there.
it up.
But that happens
There,
a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going
That
to
will
play
also
this in
happen
slow
in the
motion.
next
That
video,
is the
too.
door right there, the
Something
front
to that
door.
effect.
So we're going to play this in a slow speed for you. Okay, pause. Right there, look how it does resemble a head and a
Shoulders. Yeah.
a body shape.
Yep.
Look at the
Wow.
temperature of it. Now you can really see the lamp over there behind the date.
Mm-hmm.
You can see how cold the door is, the front door. Now we're going to play this in slow motion, continue it, and watch how the body there changes in temperature. Now it goes to white.
Wow.
Yeah, they heat
And
it up.
there it appears that it turns to the right
Wow.
and it'll kind of wobble back and forth. So let's back up and play it at regular speed. You'll be able to see a quick change in the temperature difference, and you'll see how the what appears to be an apparition moves.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow.
There you could see how it walked, across in front of that window. There you see it more. I'm sorry, not the window, the picture frame. It's blocking out more of the picture frame than what it was. Right in front of that picture frame, where this apparition or whatever you want to call it is standing, there is a lounge chair there. There's no way for somebody to stand right there. And again, we did double check this with our DVR system, and there was nothing in the room at all at the time. Both investigators were at the entrance to the kitchen and dining room running the thermal camera when this was taken.
Okay, wow.
Wow.
Thanks, D, on the commentary.
Yeah. No, we were saying about the dangers of the thermal. Were you? I couldn't understand because he was talking as well. You said it was
It
dangerous.
can be easily misread, yes. Cannot be disputed in that regards completely. What were you saying, Chuck?
You were saying something about the dangers of the thermal or dangerous or something like that. You were
Yes, you
kind
got to
of talking.
watch for reflections
Mhm.
because the light can actually bounce uh, as it goes. That's why he was saying about watching to see across the room from the light switch if there had been an investigator cutting through there.
Mhm.
That's what that had to do with. And it's I don't know. And like William Nighthawk said, you do have to watch. There are other reasons too. You got to watch out for it too. And on the bad side, it also offers easy. I shouldn't say this, but fakery for TV shows too. Unfortunately.
Well,
All right.
I think a lot of people are
What?
guilty of that.
No, a lot of people what?
I think a lot of people are guilty of that.
Yes, I would have to agree. And just about every major show would be guilty of that. And as far as I guess now, as far as the number one video, that occurred actually at the same house as the number 3 video. It occurs in the house in Northern Maryland. Not sure of the activity of, but it had the dolls or stuffed headless dolls, I should say, buried, possible witchcraft of some kind, and there was a fire on the property as well. Brendan, go ahead and play number 1. There we go. Sorry, somehow I got muted. But anyway, in the lower left, there was a slight movement of the remote control. We almost didn't get it because of the position of the camera, and it happened so close to the camera. Now, what happened there is Chuck was looking to see around because he could feel the remote control bounce off him in the back. I hope you guys were able to see it. The bottom of the screen hopefully didn't cut it off. And of course, it's amazing to catch remote control moving through the air. And if you watch, it's actually going to twist as well on some of these other motion pictures when they put it in slow motion that you'll see. See right there, as it goes right there, it's twisting on the side. Okay, eventually here we're going to see some light movement around the room. That's occurring now on the replay status. He's like, "Did you see that remote control right behind me? Hit me." That is a really cool video.
Yeah. Wow. How old's that video? That same night with the other one, or?
Yeah, they're both 10 years old. They were shot about 3 months apart.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Roughly. Well, I shouldn't say it. The second, number 2, I'm not sure what month that was shot. I forget that. But the second one I think was shot in May. Like I said, that house is truly haunted. At least at that time it was. A remote control flying through the air, and part of the proof that we did not fake it is the fact that it's not in the middle of the video camera. If we're going to fake it, we're going to put it right in the middle where you can see it. It's not going to be almost. We're not going to almost miss it.
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah, we were lucky to capture it as well, William Nighthawk. I mean, because the reality is, if the camera is positioned just a little bit higher up, we don't get that. It's just like on the thermal. It was things that happened to be very close to not getting something really good. And sometimes you can have bad luck and not get something good when you think you're prepared for it as well.
Yeah, that's. Woo. So when you getting out again to do some more investigations, Sean?
Well, we're trying to schedule a residence right now. I am not sure the status of getting a hold of the person, and soon we're just going to have to say to hell with it and move on to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or another, I have a couple prisons in mind. I want to check out old prisons. I'd like to check out one is old Franklin County, and one I'll say is also old Northumberland County, if you're familiar with central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Old Northumberland County is home to the last hanging in Pennsylvania.
Oh wow!
It was Molly McGuire hung as well.
Is that when? Is that the entity you're going after, or is it just a haunted area to someone else?
Well, I got to talk to the former warden, who's still a warden at the new prison, because the prison had a fire about 5 or 6 years ago. It's under new ownership. It's owned by a private individual now instead of a county or a municipality of any kind. The last Molly McGuire, well, I shouldn't say last Molly McGuire, but the Molly McGuire who was hung there, he said he thinks that is who is lurking on the 3rd floor. I believe he said 3rd floor of the structure.
Wow.
And also the basement's supposed to have something as well, an Indian. So there's a guy with a famous name who owns it. It's not the famous person, I might add. I'm not going to say what it is. But it's a guy I'm trying to get a hold of, or have someone get a hold of, to get in front of him, have us turn us down in front of us versus over the phone or email. So that way, maybe it's harder for him to say no. And also tell him that he can make some money making it into somewhat of letting people investigate the place, leaving it a little bit of a state of as it is, where people can check it out, where it's safe. Maybe not go to all the areas, but most be safe.
Yeah, or maybe have your own insurance too. This way you don't have to worry about, because
absolutely have people sign a waiver. Yeah, people sign a waiver, and you're perfectly immune from that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what we're looking to do. That place, as well as I think there's another place that's slipping my mind as for what I was trying to get into as well. Oh, and by next year, I'm looking also to schedule probably do another event. I did one last year at Hillview Manor. I'll probably set up another one for another place. Possibly return to Pennhurst of all places.
Oh wow!
Pennhurst, of course, school shut down in about 87 or 90 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of bad things were done. Once you lived there, you basically just never left. Once you lived there, and mistreatment was abounds.
Wow.
And they have another building open.
What's that?
They have another building open. When I was there, they only had one building access open. Now I think they have more than one building that's open for investigations.
Well, the one guest you have on, I guess, coming up in a couple months is Eleanor. She lives in my county, so maybe you got to come out and visit and go do an investigation with her.
Oh, that would be nice. I would love to do an investigation. She's also part of the Lady Ghostbusters, and I'm sure we'll talk to her about the Lady Ghostbusters as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, talk to her about her books, and I'd love to do an investigation in Northwest Jersey.
Come on over, Sean.
You've been to my area of Bigfooting, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, well, if you make the trip over, I'll go ghost hunting with you.
You know what? I'll hold you to it.
Right,
I will make some. I'll find something, or after she's on. She is on March 10th.
March.
She's on March 10th. She will be on.
All right.
And our next guest actually is going to be February 24th, and it will be Professor Andy Kitt. He's from the University of New Hampshire. He's a psychology professor. So it will be, he also does investigations, though. So it'll be quite interesting to hear what he has to say. He's also an author of a book. Did your group cover? Because Crawford and Erie counties have a lot of good locations. We're actually nowhere near, unfortunately, Crawford or Erie counties. We're towards, we're actually right near Harrisburg and just north. Yeah. Thank you. I would love to get out there. There's also, yes. That's the other place. Thank you, Marla. That was the other place I had in mind to mention a little bit ago. Thank you, Marla. And that I needed to schedule and set that up. Of course, Marla's the one who found that one. So thank you, Marla, again. And that's why she would remind me of the Samuel Miller Mansion.
Is she going to get a finder's fee?
Is she what?
Is she going to get a finder's fee?
Yeah, she gets to go. I'll make sure I'll do my best to make sure it's set to her schedule.
Good.
So Marla's smiling right now. Hopefully she is. Well, and I've already said who we have coming up next. I guess that's really about it. I don't have too much more to add. Anyone have any questions, by the way?
Yeah, there's a lot of William did a great job asking questions tonight, so that was nice.
Yes, he did. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see our Universal YouTube channel. And
yes, in the future, the Paranormal Show will have guests on as well. All right. Well, I guess we're supposed to take and cut it out. So, I want to say thank you for tuning in. It's what?
I just want to say Mike and I are we're going to be on From Behind Tall Trees show next Wednesday at 7, and we're going to be having RPG on the show. So if anyone's watching tonight, watch next Wednesday. So
And also on Tuesday, I want to add Jack Carey will be on with his premiere of Threshold. Can I get a time clarification on that? Is that 5 o'clock in the evening, Eastern time? Is that correct? What I heard?
is it? I'm not sure.
I believe 6 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern time for Threshold from Jack Carey. That will premiere on Tuesday of this upcoming week. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. And I guess, Brendan, take us out.
You've been watching Paranormal Files Into the Darkness, a Catskill Appalachian Research Collective production. For more information on this program and others like it, remember to like, share, and subscribe to CARC Universal today. To join the conversation on our Facebook group, become a member of the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective Facebook group. CARC. Relentless.
Hey, this is Chuck Larson. You're watching the CARC channel on YouTube.